We're Group R, and we are here to present to you developing emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is being able to identify and cope with your emotions and emotions of people around you. Emotional intelligence in the workforce is important to maintain high performance, especially in a rapidly changing environment. It is critical in finding, keeping, and inspiring talent among a pool of numerous employees. Specifically, emotional intelligence is important in communicating to others, as better management of emotions will lead to more effective communication, which can enhance work productivity and satisfaction. Emotional intelligence is also important as it is the management of your own emotions on the basic level and other people's emotions on a higher level. Having a solid grip on emotions of self and others will create an environment of well-being which enhances productivity. Emotionally intelligent people are often self-motivated, not motivated by title or money, but with an intrinsic purpose and direction. They are often resilient in the face of adversities, since they are able to regulate their emotions and remain optimistic despite problems. Emotional intelligence requires self-awareness as well, which is important as being aware of one's own strengths and weaknesses can help with time management as you know which areas to work on more and where you are confident in, but also self-development as you can continue working on weaknesses. As we mentioned, emotional intelligence is crucial for communication, which is essential in teamwork. Emotional intelligence can foster better cooperation between team members, and since emotional intelligence involves empathy towards self and others, people with emotional intelligence are better equipped to deal with conflicts. This can lead to a more successful team, which is vital in the workplace. There are multiple theories used to explain emotional intelligence. The first theory is Meyer and Salovey's 1977 model of emotional intelligence, which suggested that emotional intelligence was a cognitive ability which is separate but also related to general intelligence. There are four different branches in this theory that include perception of emotion, emotional facilitation, understanding emotions, and management of emotions. The branches are from basic to higher order abilities, which develop as an individual matures.
Aron's 2006 model of emotional social intelligence, which consists of certain emotional and social competencies, skills, and facilitators. It is divided into four different areas which interact with one another. The first section is interpersonal, which includes emotional awareness, assertiveness, independence, self-regard, and self-actualization. The second is interpersonal, including empathy, social responsibility, and interpersonal relationships. The third is stress management, which is stress tolerance and impulse control. And lastly, general mood includes happiness and optimism. Lastly, Daniel Goleman's emotional intelligence theory uses five main components: emotional self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills.
Daniel Goleman's theories use precise and comprehensive words to identify emotional intelligence. For example, Daniel Goleman separates the different targets in the series and especially point out feel other people's feeling is one of the emotional intelligence standards. However, Meyer and Slavin's series more like to identify emotional intelligence, which use personal cognitive process. Comparing Daniel Goleman's with Bayern's series more general than Goleman's, which means it contains more information but lack of accuracy.
Daniel Goleman's model focuses on emotional intelligence as a wide array of competencies and skills that drive leadership performance and consists of the five components. These are emotional self-awareness, which is knowing what one is feeling at any given time and understanding the impact those moods have on others. Self-regulation, which is controlling or redirecting one's emotions, anticipating consequences before acting on impulse. Motivation, which is utilizing emotional factors to achieve goals, enjoying the learning process, and persevere in the face of obstacles. Empathy, which is sensing the emotion of others, and social skills, which is managing relationships, inspiring others, and inducing desired responses from them. To Goleman, emotional competencies are not innate talents, but rather learned capabilities that must be worked on and can be developed to achieve outstanding performance.
Copper and Swab study mirrors Goleman's self-regulation in the five components of emotional intelligence. Copper and Swab found that when employees were able to identify their stress, those with higher emotional intelligence were able to regulate their feelings of frustration and stress and were more resilient compared to employees who were lower on emotional intelligence.
Cooper and Sawaf similarly mirrored their theory of emotional intelligence on Goleman's 5 components. Instead of the aforementioned emotional self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills, they have labeled their model as the 4 cornerstone model, which includes emotional literacy, emotional fitness, emotional depth, and emotional alchemy. These share heavy similarities to Goleman's components. Emotional literacy is defined by the ability to identify and express feelings, whether through intuition or honesty. This aligns with Goleman's component of self-awareness. Emotional fitness embodies trust resilience, which in turn gives one the mental adaptability to handle pressures and problems in a constructive way. Goleman's motivation also refers to overcoming and persevering in the face of obstacles in his motivation component. Emotional alchemy, however, shares the same features as Goleman's self-regulation, as it is defined by the way we identify, regulate, and align the emotions internally and externally. This research study, Effects of Emotional Intelligence on Job Satisfaction, an empirical study on call center employees, provides evidence that supports Goleman's theory on emotional intelligence. This is because the findings show that employees with more emotional intelligence are more adept at identifying and regulating their emotions. As Goleman has 5 components, one part of his theory is self-regulation, which is controlling or redirecting one's emotions. Similar to the study, when an employee has a high emotional intelligence, they tend to have more self-regulation.
The Search Inside Yourself program was founded by former Google engineer Chade-Meng Tan in collaboration with leading neuroscientists, emotional intelligence experts, and mindfulness experts, and launched in 2007. The program was piloted at Google after Tan saw a need to support fellow Google employees in becoming self-aware of their emotions, providing them with tools to self-regulate their emotions and become more empathetic, as well as creating a harmonic culture in the Google office. The primary goal of the program is to encourage employees to reflect rather than react, allowing for more successful collaboration in the workplace. Participants in the Search Inside Yourself program work both individually and in pairs to recognize and respond to their own and others' emotions. The program has been delivered to over 20,000 Google and non-Google employees, with participants commenting on how the strategies they have learnt in the course have helped to relieve stress at work and effectively deal with their emotions in the workplace. Former CEO of the Search Inside Yourself Leadership Institute, Mark Lesser, quoted that emotional intelligence skills support collaboration, more open communication, more transparency, and less posturing, less ego, and more people working for the greater good and for the purpose of the organization succeeding. There is evident crossover between Goleman's theory and the program that Search Inside Yourself delivers. Search Inside Yourself aims to equip participants with the following emotional intelligence and mindfulness skills: developing greater self-awareness and emotional regulation and governing stress, directly overlapping with Goleman's first and second points; intensifying focus, building resilience in the face of change, and unleashing creativity and innovative thinking, all aligning with Goleman's third point; and experiencing greater well-being and communicating clearly and effectively, supporting Goleman's fifth point. Combining all these teachings enables participants to understand themselves and hence understand others, allowing them to be empathetic, Goleman's fourth point. To conclude our research on developing emotional intelligence, there are multiple strengths and few limitations to this approach. The positives of developing emotional intelligence in the workforce is it helps in strengthening the employee's teamwork skills. It improves employees' communication skills and also supports self-motivation. On the other hand, emotional intelligence has one main limitation. This is the fact that there are multiple theories that support it, such as Mayer and Solovey's 1997 model of emotional intelligence, Baran's 2006 model of emotional social intelligence, and Daniel Goleman's emotional intelligence theory. The issue with having all 3 theories is it increases the robustness of the topic. While all these theories are associated with emotional intelligence, they differ in specific languages they use to label their theories and constructs. Although each theory represents the researcher's own findings, all share a common desire to understand and measure the abilities and traits related to recognizing and regulating emotions in ourselves and others.